Hey guys, welcome to Dice Squad, the only show that doesn't require an architectural degree. My name is Marshal Dice, also known as Adam Campbell.
And I am General Dice, also known as Todd Evangelista.
And today, what are we going to talk about today, General?
I don't know. What's the title of this show?
Well, the title is, We Don't Got Time for No Alhambra.
Well, then I don't know what we're going to talk about, because I'm ready to talk about Alhambra. Well, except I forgot this bag. They come with these cool bags.
Well, seeing as how you got it all set up, I guess we may have a little bit of time to talk about Alhambra.
All right, let's talk about Alhambra, one of our favorite games. Tell us, what's the history of this game?
Well, it was published by Queen Games, and it's for 2 to 6 players. And this game has won numerous awards. So many, in fact, I didn't have enough time to put them all on the note cards today. So just a few of them to wrap up here. 2003, the Eisner Felder Best Written Rules winner, the multiplayer nominees, and also 2005, the Volden Pen Adult Game of the Year winner. And if I messed up those names, I apologize.
Yes, it's from, but the one that's the most important is Game of the Year, or Spiel des Jahres, in 2003. This won the Game of the Year in Essen, in Germany, which is a very prestigious award, and probably did the most to bring this game from Germany to America, and was very important for it. Let's just, since we don't have much time, let me just go over how to play this game. Now, a lot of the games that we do go over are not as complicated as this one.
Yeah, boy, is this one a doozy.
Yes. Now, it doesn't need to be as complicated as we make it. The original game came in a box that wasn't even, it was like half this size. This is called Alhambra, the Big Box. Why? Because it includes not only the basic game, but all 5 of the expansions for Alhambra. Each expansion for Alhambra had 4 modules which could be added to the game, which means that you can add 20 variations to your game. I generally like to add about 7 each time we play, and then that becomes what we think of as the base game. Now, the base game itself is fairly simple, with some areas which are complicated. So here's the deal. The first thing you do is you shuffle the deck of money, and you put into that deck in 2 strategic places, but still randomly, the scoring rounds. The scoring rounds, there are 3 scoring rounds. The first 2 are triggered when cards come up from the deck. The last one is triggered when there are no more of these tiles in the bag. Now, these tiles are, so this is a tile laying game, but the tiles come out, and I need to get another piece of the puzzle. They come out and they are placed on a marketplace, and the marketplace, you randomly draw tiles, and it has 1 next to a yellow coin, 2 next to a green coin, 3 next to a blue coin, and 4 next to an orange coin. And what these signify is that you're building your palace, your Alhambra. You are using craftsmen and workers from 4 different cultures to do this. And each one of those people wants to be paid in his own money. So when the tile comes out, it lists what it is. It's a color. So for instance, I have here a tower. Very important tile. And it has some walls around it. And it has the number 9. If I were to place this purple tile next to the yellow coin, you would need to buy that with 9 or more coins. The other thing that's odd about these workers that you're using is they don't like to give change. So if you have, I said, well, I got 10 money for you, sir. I got 10 yellow money, but it only costs 9. Can I get 1 back? No.
Those damn unions.
You cannot get your 1 back. He will just keep that as a tip. So you have to collect money in different colors. You start with 21 to 28 money, but it's in various colors. It's a rainbow in your wallet, and you have to buy what you can buy.
Wait. One more time. What was that?
It's a rainbow in your wallet. But luckily, there's money left on the street, and you can pick it up if you would like.
Just anywhere on the street?
It's in front of these tiles. So if you say, well, I don't have enough to buy one of the tiles, but I can take the money. You may take up to 5 of more than 1 card, but at 6 or more, you can only take the 1 card. So if I had a 2 and a 3, I could take them both. But if I had a 2 and a 4 available, I could only take the 2 or the 4. So I wouldn't want the 2 even unless it was the exact color that I needed to get exact change. So you can buy a tile, you can take money, or you can remodel your Alhambra, because each tile has walls on it, and these walls don't want to fit in any way that you want to just put them together.
Are these the black bars on the sides of the tiles there, General?
Yes, that is what they are. They're black. They're black or brown bars, so that each tile has something around it. Or the most valuable tiles have no walls, and that means that you can place them any place. But
they look like they can connect together.
Yes, but remember, this is the key. Some people try and reorient the tile. It has to say the name so that it's readable. You can't have garden or tower or arcade going along the side or upside down. It must be at the bottom, and that's how the tile is drawn and pictured. So
what's the different types of tiles we got here?
Well, we have the seraglio,
which is, in layman's terms,
a brothel, I believe.
Okay. For all those viewers out there who don't know what a seraglio is,
you can watch the Mozart opera if you like. That takes place in a seraglio. There is chambers. Well, let's go in order. There's a pavilion, which is a gathering place. Seraglio, which is a place to keep your wives. You have all your wives.
More than one wife?
Yeah, we would call it. It's for your harem. It's not really a brothel, but it could be. Who knows? The arcade, which is where people buy things. The chambers, which is a holy place, and the garden, which is a place of reflection, and the tower, which is defense. And each time you put these together, you're trying to put them so that you can walk to your fountain. Your fountain doesn't have to be at your center of your Alhambra, but you got to get water to all your people. All the places have to be able to walk to where you can get water. And so that determines how you place the tile. You can't put a wall that's going to block you off from that water. And there's several other different ways that you can place these tiles that is bad. Usually you'll place the tile and say, ha ha, and then somebody will say, no, you're not allowed to place it there. No, but this is great because now I can. No, you can't place it there.
And they will say, aha.
You will say, aha, and you will say, well, and then somebody will object, and then you'll say what's wrong. But they will show you in the rule book that it's wrong, and that's okay.
Now, can you have more than one of these buildings?
Yes, you're going to have a lot of tiles because you have 3 available things that you can do on your turn. You can take money, you can buy a tile, or you can remodel your Alhambra. And if you put too many walls, they get in your way, you may want to remodel your Alhambra. But it's a very confusing step and not one we want to go on over where people can't see it. And the main part is that if you can pay exact change for your building, your tile, then you can take another turn. So if I have a tile that's a seraglio, it's 5. If I place it on the blue, it's on the blue, and I have the 5 blue, I can buy that and hopefully buy something else. Buy another tile on the same turn, and then end my turn by taking some money. It is possible, though I have never seen it, to buy 4 tiles and take money. But it would be a confluence of, you'd be pretty sure that the person cheated. So, if they were able to do that. So, then you place your tiles in your Alhambra, and then the scoring card comes up.
How do you score?
That is the key to this. You have a pad that you are going to use a lot in this game, and on this pad it has all 6 different tiles, and whoever has the most of each kind of tile will then get the bonus points that are listed. So in the first round, if you have the most pavilions, you will get 1 point. Most seraglios, 2 points. Most arcades, 3 points. Till you get to the tower, if you have the most of those, you get 6 points. That's pretty great until you get to the second scoring round. Then if you have the most towers, you get 13 points. But now there's a second place. The person who comes in second gets 6. And if you tie, you would put both together and split them that way. So the 2 people would get you would get 19 divided by 2 rounded down. So
which is
9. I hope. No, that's too high. Yeah, it's 9. It's 9. I was right. You looked at me like I was crazy.
You tell me, General. You're in charge of the squad here.
Yeah, I said 9, and then you looked at me, and I was like, I mean 8. No, I was right. So then you have the third scoring round, and now there's 3 places of victory. So the top is going to get now if you have the top towers, 21 points. Second place, 13. Third place, 6. So suddenly you're on this scoring track. You're moving up, moving up, moving up. Somebody who's in the back can really catch up if they get the high points.
Now, don't you also get points for also your wall?
Yes, there is another scoring part, and that is the longest wall, or every wall that you have that you can count contiguous. It's a point. So if I am keeping my options open and I only have 3 walls that touch each other that go connected, sorry, that's 3 points. But if somebody is really fencing themselves in, maybe they're having trouble putting stuff there, but they can suddenly get 10 points, 11 points, and that wall can be a big factor in winning, because especially if you jump out front in the first round, I have 6 walls, then the next time I have 9, the next, you're going to get some big points for that. And that's key. That is key. And it's all about getting those points. So strategies. Get as much money as you can and then use it judiciously to suddenly buy as many tiles as you can, hopefully before the scoring round cuts you off, and then place them so that you have the longest wall. I would say that is the basic game.
Now, you also have some coins here. Isn't there a thing where if you go over 2, you get to pull one of these coins?
Well, now it's time to talk about expansions. Now, some of the expansions we've always put in. Let's talk about the coins first because they're very easy. The coins go in a bag. If I pay for this Seraglio, like we were talking about before, it was 5 blue. Instead, I pay 7. The guy reaches into his sack and gives you, here's a random coin. It happens to be green. It's worth 1 green point. And that green point, however, can mean the next time you're going to be able to pay exact for the green tile. Now, that's good, but so are the diamonds. Why? Because no matter what culture you're from, everybody loves diamonds. And so you put the diamonds together with other diamonds and pay the guy in just diamonds. But which guy do you pay? You can pay the person who's the yellow tile, the blue tile, the green tile, the orange tile. So long as you got the right combination of diamonds, you're good to go. Unfortunately, you can't say, well, I got 3 diamonds and 2 orange. That's 5. No, it's 3 and 2. Not good enough. If they're going to pay them in diamonds, they got to be paid only in diamonds.
So what are these figures here?
Oh, those are the gates. Now, we talked about getting into trouble with your walls. By having a gate, you can burst through 2 walls put together, and suddenly you can put another tile where you wouldn't have thought that you could put it. You may have just cost yourself a lot of points, though, because you just broke through a wall. Depending on where you broke through, your wall is maybe not as long as it used to be. So you want to use those judiciously as well. We have also these treasure chests. The treasure chests add a little addition. You have 4 treasure chests in a room that cost 8 of any money, but it has to be the same money. So 8 diamonds, 8 orange, 8 yellow, whatever it is, you can buy 4 treasure chests. Then you place them in the matching rooms of your Alhambra. I got a purple treasure chest. I'll put it in a tower. I have a brown treasure chest. I'll put it in an arcade. I'll have this other brown one. I'll put it in the other arcade. But wait, this green treasure chest I cannot use, even though I paid for it. Well, here, I pass it to the right, and the person to the right gets to put the treasure chest in.
Well, thank you, General.
But you can't use it either.
Aww.
You keep passing it to the right until finally somebody can use it, or it gets discarded or put back in the bag. Now, when we check to see how long our walls are, how many tiles, who's the number 1 in tiles of pavilions, seraglios, arcades, chambers, gardens, and towers, the last thing we check, who is the number 1 in treasure chests. And because it's a treasure chest, it's worth more than all the rest. So you are going to get 7 for the first round, 14 for the second round, 22 for the third round, and of course it goes down. You have second place, third place, and the final scoring round. And that adds some real competition to buying those treasure chests, especially when somebody buys treasure chests and they give a treasure chest to somebody, you don't want to have that treasure chest because they can go ahead or get a second place instead of, or a third place and get some points when you don't want them to have any points because you're trying to catch up to them. And that one adds a lot of fun to it. But not half as much fun as we have with the Vizier. The Vizier is able to steal from the marketplace a tile. You must pay exact count, but since it's after you've chosen some money, suddenly you can come in and say, I'm stealing this from you. Too bad. I'm taking it, you're not getting it. But luckily at that point that person flips their Vizier over and they cannot use it. And until they take an action and flip it over. Or, since we added a few variants to this to make it more in your face, you get a free flip if everyone's Vizier has been used, or at the scoring points you get a free flip. The other thing that we really like is the thieves. And the thieves go before your turn. So it's your turn, there's money out there. But the thieves come along and they steal that money. And once but they steal a specific color of money and then they're used and put in a pile. Then when the scoring round comes along, everybody gets a bunch of thieves again. So you are looking at your, oh man, I can really use that a lot. I can do a lot with that situation. Sorry, everything's changed because one person used their Vizier, another person stole some money, and the money comes back out, but not the tile. Once the Vizier steals the tile, sorry, Charlie, you're out of it. And that's usually what I play with. Sometimes I put the gates in, sometimes I don't. It really depends. But certainly, and then the treasure chest is the same way. Sometimes I don't put the treasure chests in. There's also money changers. We play with those a lot. There's a card that you get which can change green into yellow money, blue into green money. And by using those judiciously, suddenly I'm nowhere even close. Because a lot of times you don't, I need blue money, and the blue money just will not come out from the deck. It's buried somewhere in there, so you get the blue money later. We also use the guy who's called the, what is he called? The architect. And we hand these out.
That would be a 3 of money, wouldn't it?
It would be a 3 of money. It puts a lot more money in the game, and I think it makes the game a little better. Again, you have to finagle the deck a little bit as to when the cards are going to come up for your scoring rounds. But the fact that you suddenly can use this guy as 3 of money or a free remodel, if you save it to the end, your ability to remodel your Alhambra without using a turn can be very valuable at the end. At the beginning, though, you just need that 3 of money so badly, you'll do anything to use it. So sometimes at the end you don't have these 3 of monies. So I like that, though. It puts more money into the game, makes the game a little bit faster. And again, that's easy to understand. I can use this as money or as a remodel, because it seems like you're wasting your time when you have to remodel. You're losing turns, you're falling behind. But if you could do boom, boom, I was able to remodel all of a sudden. It cost you 6 money, but it might have been worth it. The rest of them, we need to get more familiar with the game before we try them all. We've tried playing you can build walls just to build walls. They're little black sticks that come with the game that you can add to expand your Alhambra walls. We never played with the invaders or the camps. I played with the characters. You can buy characters, and the characters are so unbalanced. It really feels like, because that guy had some money, he won the game with those characters. There's a couple other ones in there that are good. We want to try them eventually, but you don't want to spring that on somebody new. What we have with the thieves, the viziers, the change, the gates, that's a lot. That's a lot. And 7 is, maybe you don't want to even play with 7. So, but what was your first experience with the game? I think we played together.
We played this. I think the first time was a couple months ago. You showed me this game, and I was thinking, because it was such a different word, Alhambra. It was being very complicated. But after playing it a few times, it gets very simple, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, I found that ladies really enjoy the artwork of it and the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
And once you get the idea of how to play it, after the first couple of turns go very slowly, you're explaining to each person what to do, and then all of a sudden they get into the take that with the vizier, the take that with the thieves. They understand, I can use the gate to break through, and things go very well. I think what happened with me, though, we had this. Oh, we should say where we are. We're at recess. This is where I work, and this is where I actually was shown Alhambra for the first time. The big box sat on our shelf. It's $100, but we ended up with it because it's such a savings over buying all 5 expansions, all 5 expansions. So you might as well just buy the big box. And the expansions really keep the game fresh and interesting. But I didn't know that. I looked at that game, I said, pass. Somebody else bought it. They showed it to me. We played it. They didn't know how to play it. They played it all wrong. And it was still a heck of a lot of fun. And so I said, I got to get this game. 2 years later, Recess got the game in. No, they didn't. I found it on somebody else's shelf, and as soon as I saw it, I had to buy it. Maybe even at Origins. I think I bought it at Origins.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I was just walking by, and it was there, and I said, I've been waiting 2 years to play that game. I got to play that game. And so we bought it, and we've been playing it nonstop ever since. But that was good. What would you rate this game as?
From our usual scale of 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I'd give it a solid 9. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing I find that gets players discouraged about playing this game is it looks complex because you got a lot of things to worry about. Treasure, money, viziers, tiles, walls, bridges. But after a few games, to me it was second nature. I mean, it's very easy to pick up on.
With the expansions, I would say solid 9. And this is in my top group. Would it be in the top 5? Maybe number 6.
Number 6?
Maybe number 6, and I'd rate it a 9 for sure. Did you have any crazy moments with the game? I don't know. There's some things that the vizier gets called that we cannot talk about on a family podcast.
Right.
But when the vizier comes and steals the thing that you wanted, there's some language that we cannot put on a podcast. And it's fun. That's the fun part, is when he steals all that stuff.
Any improvements you'd like to see, General?
I haven't even played the improvements in the box that I've got. I haven't played all 20 modules, so I don't know. I really
So you would
don't.
say that this game evolves in a sense.
Yeah, because there are rules for these specific modules for the enhancements, whatever, and they don't come out or whatever. You don't like it, we change it. So we have a lot of homebrewed rules that I think make it adversarial rather than I'm building my palace, you build your palace, don't bother me. So, but I think that's good. I've always, ever since I started playing it, really enjoyed it.
So as General here was saying, you know, this has been our 6th episode here, and we've moved from location to location. So here we are actually in Recess Games in North Olmsted. This is what, for our last 2 podcasts, we've had the pleasure of working here. And it looks like our lunch break is over, and the foreman's telling us we gotta get back to work. So we gotta go for now, but tune in next time for another exciting episode of Dice Squad. I'm Marshal Dice, Adam Campbell.
I'm General Dice, Todd Evangelista.
And we gotta get out of here. So see ya.
Bye-bye.